Welcome to Universal Talk. On today's show, we ponder energy healing. Let's present the case. First, we must consider the possibility that everything perceived and not perceived with the five senses may be nothing more than energy. If this is true, then can a trained individual in the art of healing help facilitate or even assist in the healing process through the manipulation of energy? For the past few weeks, we have spoken about energy. What if energy healing was nothing more than the manipulation of energy to accomplish a desired effect, such as healing? What if a practitioner of energy medicine could do this very thing? And finally, as stated last week, is this what Jesus used in order to heal others? In a moment, we'll have Reverend Linda M. Martin, Mh.D., on the show. She is a doctor of metaphysics and an ordained minister. She is certified as a Reiki master and teacher, a spiritual healer, color and sound practitioner, registered spiritual counselor, and a spiritual medium. She has degrees from Delphi University, the Patricia Hayes School of Inner Sense Development, and the Arthur Ford Academy in McKaysville, Georgia. She is recognized and registered with the International Registry of Spiritual Healers. She offers vibrational energy healing and crystal sound therapy to reestablish harmony within the physical and etheric bodies. She also offers divinely channeled spiritual guidance through which she channels the divine wisdom of your higher self to assist you on your life's path. Reverend Martin has offices located in southwestern Pennsylvania where she offers phone consultations and a variety of classes and workshops to enlighten and inspire those on their life's journey. Reverend Linda Martin, welcome to Universal Talk.
Hi, Joe. Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Great. So can you tell the viewers what brought you to this place right here and right now?
This place right here, right now, it seemed to be the way my life was leading. I was blessed to be raised by a spiritually aware mother, and I understood the power of my thoughts. And first, working right there and understanding that our thoughts are energy, and they do have a life of their own. And many people get into trouble with their thoughts and how their thoughts may direct them, overtake them. And so understanding the power of that energy is first and foremost, I think, for anybody trying to move in the path of healing and trying to receive healing.
Right. Yeah, I've spoken in the past many times about thought becomes reality.
Definitely.
And what you think and the intent that you put forth in that thought, and how much that you devote your time and effort towards that thought. And some people may call that prayer, but the way I describe it is in a church when many people come together to pray for a certain intent, maybe healing somebody else or praying for Mother Nature or whatever. It's actually the people, all the people combined within that one particular moment in time with the same intent is what creates the miracle, not so much of the church itself. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. As Jesus said, where two or more are gathered, that's where the power lies. That's why that verse is in the Bible.
Right. So some of the things that are in the Bible, do you think, some of it's misrepresented?
Definitely. I think the Bible itself is a very metaphysical works that, when taken literally or out of context, it can be confusing. People might not understand the meaning. One thing I do try to do with some of my clients in some of the classes is we may take phrases of the Bible and look at what it really means, and it kind of opens their eyes, and it starts to make sense. Right.
Yeah, a lot of times you can bring things back to simplicity, and a lot of times we try to rationalize and make it more than what it really is. But if you break it down and make it more simple, a lot of times it's more understandable and more believable, actually.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So aside from the current knowledge of healing, like years ago, I mean this is in the 80s and maybe early 90s, I saw a program on television that showed what they called therapeutic touch. And what they did is they put a person behind a wall, and they put their arm through, and they had a laceration. And they had another person through the same wall with another laceration. And what they did was they tried to manipulate, you know, the energy field around the person, and for the effect of increasing in the healing process. And what they found was that not only did the person that they did this therapeutic touch with heal faster, but they could actually measure the helper T cells combined in this particular area to prevent or to create this change. So this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. I saw this program, and then of course they called it therapeutic touch, but now I've become more and more aware of the healing energies about the aura that's around the body, the energy centers of the body. And you know, what I like to do on the show is talk about the mind-body-spirit connection.
Yes.
Because as a practitioner of healing in any sort, if you leave one out or you disconnect the three, you really don't get the whole picture. So could you speak a little bit about the aura that's around the body or the energy centers and what your view is on that?
Sure. We all definitely have an aura. We have an energy field around us. We are all energy. Even our physical body, even though it may seem solid, it really is energy in motion. And every part of us within us is energy in motion. And our energy field, even though we can't see it with our physical eyes, we can see it intuitively. We're so used living in this 3D dimension of just working from the 5 senses, the 5 physical senses that we're all aware of. But in doing energy work, you begin to learn about your inner senses as well, that helps you to look in a different way, see and feel in a different way. And so coming in touch with our energy field helps us to learn a little bit more about ourselves in a different way. Everything that we experience in our physical body first comes through this etheric body. It comes through our emotional body. We really have more than just the energy body. We have our mental body, our emotional body, and all of these things filter what we experience and how we experience it. And if we have trauma, if we have upsets that aren't worked through or healed, and we just kind of hang on and we keep recycling problems over and over again, it wears on our energy centers. We have 7 main chakras that I know you're familiar with, and these chakras are energy vortexes that process the various experiences that we have through this life. And if what we are experiencing is not dealt with in the right way, then our chakras can become out of alignment, out of harmony.
And a lot of times that's what we call dis-ease, the word disease, that's where it comes from. So depending where in the body this dis-ease is at, I really think the body is a guidance system to tell us, hey, look at this area. And not only physically, what is it? You look at the other, you know, the mind-body-spirit connection. You say, is this physical? Is this emotional? Is this spiritual that's going on here? And then when you speak with your client of, you know, the general area where the dis-ease is, they're amazed, they're shocked. Like, how did you know my personal life? Like, how did you know that I was having problems with money and power? And once people understand the chakra centers, and like you said, there's 7 main ones, but really there's way more than that with the body. But generally speaking, just, you know, intro to energy, the 7 are really important to understand. So one other thing that you mentioned is if you don't get back into balance, something that you're dealing with in the emotional or the chakra centers, what about past, present, future lifetimes? Because a lot of times we look at things in a linear fashion and we have just scratched the surface of time. We, in 3-dimensional time, we see it one way, when actually there's some research that's out there that shows that it's all now, right here, right now. We perceive it with 5 senses, and it's really hard to wrap your head around until you really dig into it, which I'm going to have some guests in the future that talk about time. And so basically bringing it back, do you feel that we bring cellular memories, if you will, from other lifetimes that we have to deal with here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely believe that, and I have seen that. I've seen that in many clients and cases that I've worked with. Just one comment on time, because I must say time, as we know it, is changing and is going to continue to change. Many people think time is moving so much quicker. Well, yes, it is, but it's not going to be what we've always known it to be, and because we are evolving. We are definitely evolving. We're on the threshold of evolving into what could be called homo luminous beings, whereas we need to help lift the lower energies that do get stuck in our chakras and our lower chakras, and lift them so that we can move into this new vibration of being that we are moving into. And one way we do that is by clearing out the stuff that we are holding on to, becoming aware of the secrets that we have within. Mm-hmm. But we do definitely bring things with us from lifetime to lifetime. We have all lived many, many lives that have provided us with many experiences and opportunities. When we come into the physical being again, we pass through our channel that houses our mental emotional body. And in the mental emotional body, that's where we collect all of the baggage that we carry from lifetime to lifetime and store more in this current lifetime.
Right. So do you feel that this is where we are right now in 3D is more of like spiritual growth, like for soul growth? Do you think that people come here with the soul, the mind, body, spirit, with this soul to face some of this baggage that they've had and to try to alleviate it, to lighten them? In effect? Yes,
that's part of what we do need to do as being physical beings, because as I said, it is part of the evolutionary process, and it's important that this be done. The main goal, I think, as humans, is to merge the ego, which is housed in the mental emotional body, with our divinity, and coming into this wholeness, this harmony. And most people just tend to live from their mental emotional selves, which is the ego personality self.
Right. We were talking last week and the week before about this evolution of man. And I know I'd mentioned this in the past, but I think it's important to say with what you're talking about that there's a gap that goes from caveman to current human. And we can't find it in the fossil records. The scientists call it the missing link. And now we're about ready to evolve from current human to superhuman or illuminous humans, however you want to.
Homo luminous.
Okay. And so do you think that things come in cycles as well? Do you think that just like the moon goes around the earth goes around the sun, our planets go around this universe, and some people feel that this black hole in the center of our universe is emitting energy. And you know, it's just like gravity. Just because we can't perceive it with our five senses doesn't mean it's not there. So do you feel that that's something that's coming about with this 2012 phenomenon and all the talk about that?
I feel that, yeah, from what I understand, I feel there is a shift of energy that is occurring because of what's occurring in the universe as well. And it affects us. It affects us. We are one with all things. We are all one in God, and if that is the case, how could we not possibly be affected by what the planets are doing, by what the movement that is occurring throughout the universe?
Right. You know, it's really amazing if you really do the research into what, you know, it used to be